Hi, Michael.
Hi, Val, the voice.
My turkey day was fun all the way up until yesterday.
Did you run into real turkeys then?
I think so, but not many.
Ah,
hmm
yeah. Oh, yeah, real turkeys, you need to stuff them and put them back, put them in the Tupperware as leftovers. And by now, 2 days after Sunday, all that
Mhm.
turkey should be thrown out, as well as the
All
turkey.
I guess so. I guess so. Well, you know what? I think we should not really focus in on the turkeys and get this show started. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go.
One of my favorite songs
Oh,
in the whole world. It is. It's a great song.
well, that is
Bean it,
that's
bean.
that's Kendall and Nesbeth. That's our music producer, guys.
I heard it,
Interlude. You Interludes is streaming every Tuesday on our YouTube channel, our Facebook private group fan base.
Streaming.
Although right now it's not because something glitchy is happening. LinkedIn under Pure Lighthouse Media, and we are now
Glitchy.
available on Pod TV Roku channel.
Yeah,
We're
Pod TV Roku channel.
Okay. We are starting the Find Your Voice, a podcasting course for beginners. Sign up as the course will be starting soon. And if you'd like to be a sponsor on our platform, book time with us at linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. And you can also sign up for the course there if you're interested for that. So there you go. It's always fun when the tech person is also the host.
Yeah, that's good. Is that the
Yeah.
case?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening because everything that I just said, I'm getting ready to show. So it's the three of us here. There you go.
The three.
And
Just the three of us.
this is three of us.
Building castles in the sky.
Just the
Just
three of
the
us.
three of us.
And we're celebrating 100 episodes.
Mhm.
Our audio interludes, and we can be heard on Google Podcasts, Apple, as well as Spotify. That's the addition. There you go. I mentioned
Yeah,
that already. Did
yeah,
that
you
too.
mentioned stuff.
Very quickly, November, we're wrapping up November. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. And our last podcast that was released last week dealt with that. And we wanted to Find Your Voice. That's a podcasting course. So we just wanted
Find your voice.
so I just wanted
Where is my voice?
where is your voice? There you go. So here's the question, and thank you so much. Mr. Springer is here with us. Thank you,
Kevin,
Kevin.
Kevin,
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 Kevin.
Kevin. He
Mhm.
makes It's good evening. Thank you. And I appreciate you.
Good
And then of course,
evening.
he says that's our theme song. Yes, it is. It's the theme song. I need to let Kendall know that's everyone likes the theme song.
It's the that's like one of the best parts of it.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Wise.
Jay
Welcome, welcome.
Wise.
He is in the building.
Oh, Jay Wise. What up?
Yeah, what up, Mr. Springer? We appreciate you.
What
What did
up?
you do? What did you do over the
Oh,
holidays? 'Cause what I
Brooklyn,
was
Brooklyn,
doing
North
was watching
Brooklyn.
watching up. I was watching a bunch of stuff. But what were you watching, or what were you
What
chilling?
was I watching?
What were you
Man,
watching? Let me
yeah.
think about that.
For most of the like Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
I watched my plate and I watched the back of my eyes. Yeah, my eyelids. I got rest. Like I rested up for this
Hmm.
last, push to the end of the year.
Hmm.
So, as you know, I work in the schools where I, corrupt your children. So, in that
That's
work, we got,
interesting.
like another couple of weeks, and we're gonna hit, the winter holiday break. Since I work at a Christian school, I can say, Christmas break. But it's coming up, and I got rest, and it was necessary. This
Yeah.
stretch from
Hmm.
what was that, like? I don't know, September
August or
through
September.
September through like November. That was rough. This was a real
Hmm.
rough stretch here, Val the Voice. I don't know if I don't know if you're around a lot of young people right now, but they're just dropping.
Hmm.
You hear about it on sometimes on the I guess the cable news and such, but the combination of the COVID and the RS and all of the respiratory stuff,
Hmm.
kids is like dropping like flies. I had a class where almost half my class was out this
That's not
past
good.
week, and so when I got a little time away from them, I slept up. I boosted my vitamin C. I was getting ready. It's a marathon, and we got to make it into the home stretch here.
Very
So
much
that's what I
so.
was doing. What were you doing? You're probably all having fun and doing all sort of stuff. How was your holiday break?
I decided to go to Omaha, Nebraska, and I went to visit my aunts.
You gotta say this
Uh,
family there because there's no other reason to go there. You gotta let people know you got family there. Because when you say I went to, they're like, why?
yeah, Omaha. Yeah, and I had someone else crack a joke about that too. Guys, in the chat, let us know how your holiday was
That's
spent. I
Grio.
I spent it, and then of course I remember sneaking out. I got me a couple of slices of my aunt's famous 7 Up pound cake. It's so
Oh
delicious.
yeah. Hey, I think I
Mhm.
had some of that before. Didn't
You
I
might
have some of
have.
that?
You might have. You
I had
might
some of
have.
the
I'm not sure.
recipe, right?
Well,
It's
the
years
recipe is.
ago. For those of you that like follow us, you'll know that we
Mhm,
did a episode at some point where we were eating cake. Remember?
mhm. Yeah, we ate cake. Let them eat cake.
And we ate it because
Yeah, we did.
we're the them. We are them.
Mhm.
I don't know who we is, but we are them, and we ate cake, and it was good. I enjoyed it, so I'm glad you did. You have it with the ice cream or with the whipped cream?
I had it with ice cream, and my favorite ice cream, that would be Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. Yes, because I am
You do that.
bougie.
How you
That's
do
me.
that?
How do I do what?
How you eat coffee ice cream? I, that's a new one. I know it exists. I can't process it. Like my body
Oh,
won't
you can't?
process it. How do you do that? Yeah.
Oh, well, what can happen is that you can because I'm such a fan of coffee, regular coffee.
Okay.
I like the Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream, and it has the least amount of ingredients in them. So that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's what I'm crazy about. I like that. Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
see, I can't do coffee, and I know I'm strange on that one. As many
Mhm.
coffee places there are, and I used to try for years to drink
Mhm.
coffee, and my body was every time was like, nope, nope, that's not for you. So I
Uh-uh.
had to start listening to my body.
Well,
Body will
one
not
thing.
take coffee, but will take champagne.
Well, what I was doing a lot of over the weekend was watching. I didn't understand what was happening. Oh, I have to say this. Yesterday, very quickly, yesterday, there was a Cyber Monday that happened, and there was $11.3 billion in sales. You guys were really, really shopping. And that's up from 5.8% from 2021, according to NBC News.
Val the voice, does that include you?
That would not include me because I was busy working on producing this show.
All right. It
I
did
was
also
not
did not
shopping.
include me. I did not participate in the Cyber Monday. And
The
I
Cyber
gotta say,
Monday.
this is like one of the first times in many years that happened. Now Giving Tuesday, which is today, right? Giving Tuesday, so to speak. Somebody I got, I didn't, it wasn't given to me. I earned it. So I immediately I turned it into Cyber Tuesday. I immediately had gifts that needed to be purchased, lest they don't show up on time. So I took care of those this morning. But I mean, Cyber Monday, here's the thing. Cyber Monday developed because people had this thing called Black Friday,
Exactly.
where the day after Thanksgiving, people would go outside, go to malls, go to places,
Mhm.
and spend a lot of money.
Mhm.
Do people still do that? I mean, post
Um,
COVID, does that happen still?
I believe it does.
Yeah.
However, I spent my time with my family
Okay.
and did not go I did not see inside of a mall for the very first time in years.
I didn't either.
I just didn't do it because
I didn't either.
it was more important for me to spend time, with my aunts and my cousins. I had my other cousin, my younger cousin, he's like 11 or 12, and he was just jumping around, just happy to see me, happy to see everybody, and it was just important for me to just do that. But I asked the question of the chat, if you guys did you shop on Cyber Monday? Did you do
I'm
that?
gonna say people are gonna tell us. I mean, if people are gonna, if people do respond, or if and when they do respond, I'm gonna say the answer is no. I mean,
Yeah.
I heard these, I see these numbers,
Mhm.
and I get it, I understand, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's what it used to be. I think that some of that, like Black Friday, like that
Mhm.
Friday is Cyber Friday, you know? Okay, okay, so
This
here.
is
Yeah,
wise.
there you go. There you go. You got
Mhm.
it. Okay.
So they're calling it, so thank you so much, Wise. Call it buying Amazon Tech Monday. Okay, that's
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
And then
right?
the bud says, I didn't have an opportunity to because you were probably working like me, right? Right, the bud? Yes, we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
both working. You were
but
working too.
remember the whole
Mhm.
idea of Cyber Monday used to be,
Mhm.
Val the voice, is that people would be back in their cubicles on
Right.
Monday, and so they couldn't go out to buy stuff. So they could
Right.
only go onto the computer and order things, and people began to track the sales, and they were so high. It's like, oh wow, this is an extra day of shopping. So we'll send you deals because we recognize this.
And
But
they
I
were
mean, I think trying to like pinpoint where consumers are and how they shop
Mhm.
is difficult right now, especially post COVID. I don't think it's what it used to be.
And also, as I move on from this story, Kevin says that today is where you can have great travel deals online. As of yesterday into today, Southwest Airlines was saying, "Hey, we'll give you 30% off of future bookings, but the bookings have to be in the new year of 2023." As I tried to book next month, but they wasn't allowing 30%.
How advanced did they go? How many months
You had to
into the year did
go
they go?
into, January 11th or 12th. They were like, "Yeah, we can give you 30% off, Cyber 30," and that was the
Oh,
code, I
it
believe.
cut
Yeah,
off. It cut
it
off at
cut off,
January the
yeah.
12th.
In other words, it
Oh,
started January the 12th, and then it went beyond, but anything
oh,
next
okay. That's
month
what I was asking. How
went
far
out.
into 2023 did it go?
Well, I know that it started in the very first part of January, but yeah.
Okay, cause hold on, I'll be back. I'll
Oh
check
my
back in with
god.
you in a second because I gotta get a
Okay,
flight.
okay.
All right.
So,
So
let
yeah. So the thing that I did which you
Mhm.
probably did as well.
Mhm.
When I was awake, I did
Mhm.
see some TV. I did
Mhm.
some major channel flipping back and forth, back and forth.
I
CBS, BET, CBS, BET.
Yeah,
And there they
and
are.
there they are. We told you guys last week about both of these shows
Told ya.
coming on at the same time on Saturday this past weekend.
When it rains, it
And
pours, right?
when it rains, it pours. And the great thing about this is that I want to say they were on different networks, but technically, no, they weren't.
Nope.
CBS and BET
Black
all under
people
the
love war.
same Paramount umbrella. Is that correct?
Black people love wars. Yep. It was on the same. It's a wars for black people. It's a black people love wars. Yeah. If you remember that, those of you who remember that, you know what I'm talking about. It's the black people love wars. Yep. Yeah, on both. Yeah, under the same Paramount umbrella, you had Mr. Dion Cole, hailing from the west side of Chicago.
West
Um,
Side.
yeah, he's from the west, not the best, but from the west. And then you had the Grio Awards. You got a picture there of Money Long. I'm gonna say her name right before Val says it wrong.
Yeah,
So
thank
this
you.
is Money Long who
Yeah,
won the
we're
Ashford
covering
and Simpson
we're
Songwriters Award.
yeah, and she had the opening performance
Got her
for the
hair
Soul
on in
Train
there too.
Awards. Yeah, exactly. I was not familiar with but I do like the song that she won the award for, which is called Hours and Hours.
Yeah, you
But
probably didn't
yeah,
recognize it because in her video, she didn't have her hair on in the video.
it's right.
It's,
But
it's
they
her natural
did
hair.
I will say this, there was 2 honor awards that was given for Soul Train.
Jerome,
So the Legend Award went to Morris Day and the Time. You know, they got to say it
to
like
the
that now
sauce.
since yeah. And then the Lady of Soul Award went to, I believe, the R&B group called Escape. And
Can
I'll
we go
bring
back
them up
to?
in
Oh,
a
thank you. Let's stick back to Morris Day and the Time. Let's
We're gonna go
let's
back to
let's
Morris Day at a
let's
time.
escape.
Okay.
Let's escape from escape. All right.
Oh
Because so
boy.
so
I
here's the thing
so
that
much
we should probably
shade. So much
recognize.
shade. So much
It,
shade.
I'm wearing them. So Morris Day and the Time. I mean, so you got them being honored here with the Soul Train Awards, and then the
Mhm.
previous week, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis on television because it was televised, and even though it happened early in the year
Mhm.
on
Right.
HBO Max, you see
Right.
them go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So,
Right.
I mean, this is a real celebration of Minneapolis sound.
Mhm.
Certainly, Morris Day, the last person he thanked when they got their award was, he
Was
said,
Prince.
was Prince. He certainly
Mhm.
did thank Prince. He acknowledged Jam and Lewis, of course, who
Mhm.
don't, too big to tour, of course, too big to tour.
Mhm.
But there he is with Jerome and this band, Val the Voice. My goodness, the time that used to be the tightest band anywhere. And I mean, the fact that, in the spectacular movie Purple Rain, you have this kind of
Mhm.
ongoing playful battle between the revolution and the time. I mean,
Right.
Prince is Prince was the variable that put it over. The time was a better band than the revolution.
Well, I'm gonna say this about the time. Morris, I believe, went to either high school. He went to school with Prince, and
Yeah,
so they
no,
formed this friendship. And what happened with Prince? He was producing just kind of the sound of of a lot of bands, and he was one that recorded a lot of his own instruments. So when putting together the time, what was cracking me up back then, I don't know if you guys were nerdy like me and read the credits of the albums, because I have, I think, the Times very first album. It said it's produced by the Star Company, but we're like, who's the Star Company? It was Prince.
It's Prince.
It
Yeah.
was Prince.
I mean, in those early time songs, if you listen to them now on the radio
Mhm.
or however you're streaming, I mean, there are two voices prominent on every time song, pretty
Mhm.
much. It is
Yeah, it
Morris
is.
Day's voice and it is Prince's voice. I
Mhm.
mean, they really are a lead singer and co-lead singer, as Kelly Rowland thought of herself. I mean, those are the two main voices of the time. But then you
Mhm.
had, you know how you got Jesse, you had Jesse on guitar,
Right,
you
and
had
I
you know, Jam and Lewis.
right, and that, one of
Man,
my favorite intros, they did cool, they did my favorite tracks that were very popular, but the opening to 7779311,
and they
that
did
is
it too.
Jesse with that burn, burn, burn,
But,
burn, burn, burn. I
uh,
mean, that is just classic, and, Jimmy Bean and just Jelly Bean Johnson, just all of the
oh,
musicianship,
right.
and
Oh,
I was just
so here
grateful.
we go. I mean,
Right.
how many eons ago was that? But neither you nor
82,
I, we're not. So if you're watching
82.
us now, we're not looking this up. We know the time. We know the band the time, and
Oh, we
probably you
know
do
it.
too. I mean, you know who was in the time. That was
Right.
the tightest band out there. And for a
Okay.
while, Val the Voice, there just weren't a lot of African American bands.
And
Like,
they
you
were
know, we
and
came up with a time when they were really there, but then there was this moment in R&B where you didn't really have any bands anymore. So when the time came back, I believe, and did was that Pandemonium? And that
Mhm,
was, like, later on in their career. It
mhm.
was just I remember seeing them on Saturday Night Live and thinking, "Oh my god, this band is just this is the kind of band that, like, James Brown woulda had." And the way you hear some stories about Prince and how he would keep the band tight, it's like, no wonder. That band was, like, on.
Right. So
Amazing.
I
You
don't I
compare
don't
that
wanna
with
I don't wanna park there forever, but what I will say about this, if you guys have seen the movie Purple Rain, if you've seen, what is it, Graffiti Bridge?
mhm.
Those Morris Day and the Time are both featured in that as well. Shantae Moore, one of my favorite vocal artists,
When she
is
get brown?
I w- she
How'd that happen?
I don't
I turned to it and I was like, "Who is that singing? Who's that
yeah,
singing that Shantae Moore song? Who's this brown
and
woman
it was
singing her song?"
it's Shantae Moore, and
Did she have on toner? I mean, did she,
I
like,
don't
go in there tanning? That
now
ain't Shantae Moore.
the shock of the evening for me was the
Shock was seeing her that
when
brown color. That was a shock.
best collaboration. Now, best
I'd love to see
collaboration,
Harmony.
that's a lot of folks, people coming together. So
What do we
there's
do
been
now?
this remake that was been popularized. I heard it when I was in Houston with the release of Beyonce's album, which
Yeah, because you were in Houston.
I was in Houston, but
That's like,
her
old school R. Kelly in
the
Chicago. She controls Houston, so
So
we'll
Beyonce
see.
won Album of the Year and Song of the Year with Break My Soul. But the pickup that she did was best collaboration. Make Me Say It Again, Girl. The Isley Brothers featuring Beyonce. That song was recorded back in the 70s, and she has put her lips on it and made it renewed for a new generation. I'm just saying. I mean, and I played it
She
for
put
one
her
of my
lips on it like she put her lips on Jay-Z. What?
and I was
Same
thinking to
result.
myself, I'm like, I like
Making the
this,
money
but
rain.
I'm feeling some kind of way about liking the Beyonce song. But I was like, okay, well, she kind of eases in between. It's like a delicate weave between the Ron
Delicate
Isley's
weave.
vocals. Yeah, between Ron Isley's
Y'all hear
vocals and
her?
her vocals, just
So
kind of
so
going back and forth. But this is a
Beehive, y'all hear
classic.
her? Beehive, y'all hear Val the Voice?
Look, look.
Intricate
This was
weave,
look.
Beyonce,
Look, I was
expensive
trying to
weave.
hate on this song, on this, I wanna call it remake, but it was done well. The production was done well.
It
So
it
it
wasn't
won.
like when she bastardized, Maze and Frankie Beverly's
No,
song.
I'm gonna keep it moving. So this
It
was a
wasn't as
shock.
bad as that. She got better. She's learned how to appropriate other older R&B songs better now
Okay, so
after having that fiasco.
this is when I'll come into defense with her.
Oh, she's
If you
defending
make a song
me.
where a whole new generation becomes familiar with it and you put more money in the pocket of the person that originated that song, is Maze gonna have an issue? Frankie Beverly is gonna have an issue with people going,
Now
who is
now
that?
see, that
Can I
used
get
to be
paid?
the
Let me finish,
argument
let me
with hip
finish, let me
hop.
finish, let me finish, let me finish.
Yeah,
And is
okay.
the
I
Isley
was
brothers gonna have issues with people going, oh wow, you're familiar with my music because of one of the biggest stars in the world is remaking it and putting her lips on it and making it
putting
do
her
what it
lips
do.
on it.
Yes. putting her lips
Did
on
any
it. That's
sound
what
come out of
that's
her
right.
lips? From her, from her, from her, from her, from her throat? Did any sound come out? Okay, so here I hear you because that's the same argument they used to make with hip hop. Is like, okay, they sampled
Mhm,
a song, made it
mhm,
better, generated some money. But when
mhm,
artists did that in hip hop, those artists usually didn't have any money and they were using
mhm.
somebody else's work and they both got rich. Beyonce could have just paid the Isley brothers and given them money straight up and
I
spared us
I
her rendition of the song.
okay.
In
I
both
I'm
cases, in both
okay.
cases, I'd rather
Oh,
just take the money, the check from Beyonce. Speaking of rich people,
thank you.
Byron Allen,
Thank you.
good
Thank you.
Lord.
Thank you. I'm glad you answered.
So
Glad you're looking. I'm glad you're looking. So,
the
JY says
entertainer,
The
Byron
Grio
Allen,
Awards was incredible. I love Byron Allen, and he spoke about
who
Coretta Scott
doesn't?
King. Yeah, but
I'm
tell
serious
me,
about that.
tell me how influential Byron Allen is as we look at
Okay,
see
because
who. Yeah.
okay, well here, Byron Allen got his show on CBS while the Soul Train Awards lingered on BET Plus and BET Her, whatever other Paramount throwaway there is. Look, Byron Allen owns stuff that you don't even think some of y'all don't even think he owns,
Mm-hmm.
like the Weather Channel. Okay. So this man is walking around talking about I may want to get a football team. And he can because he's sitting on a net worth of $800 million. So
Yeah,
maybe
he's
he
him
can.
and him and Tyler Perry are running neck and neck and neck. So
Oh,
yeah.
no, 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 no. Please don't. Please don't do that. Look, okay. So Byron Allen has cable stations. He has
Mhm.
70 television stations. Some of those
Wow.
shows that he made in the 2010s, they're still
Mhm.
running through syndication. This
Mhm.
dude is generating like stupid money. He was sitting there next to Tyler Perry because Tyler Perry is looking at him like, when I grow up, I want to be Byron Allen. All right. So, I mean, think about it this way, Val the Voice. Who
Mhm.
gave who an award?
Well, let's do this. I'm actually going
Right.
through the winners that got recognized on that night, and I
Absolutely.
believe, and what I was very impressed with, and I'll say this, it was taped at the Beverly Hilton in Los Angeles. It was a black tie special event to pay tribute and to amplify the history makers, the change agents, artists who defined and influenced a black world. And if you notice on the screen right now, you see
Hey, brown sugar cane.
sitcom creator who is now has reached three age that is amazing, 100. Norman Lear
Mm-hmm.
was honored and was not there. I think Tyler presented the award to him, the champion icon. So he was doing icon awards. I think I went past Jennifer Hudson. She was a trailblazer. This one I was very happy about. The cultural icon for Dave Chappelle.
Dave
Um,
Chappelle said
mhm.
thank you, and he got on and off the stage without offending anybody.
Anybody, which was wonderful. Allison
Ooh,
Felix, who
baby.
was an Olympian who fought
God, I
for her
love her.
right.
I've been in love with
Right.
her for so many years, and she just continues to. I'm serious about that. I remember her when
Mhm.
she was in high school running. I'm old.
Mhm.
I,
Oh,
I I
oh.
remember like looking at her like, good. When she gets older, my God, woo.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
And
we
so,
started out the evening impressed with that young woman there that you went
oh,
back to the
mhm.
teenager came
Yeah.
on and just like set
Mhm.
a tone for the whole night. What
I was
what an
I was
amazing show!
I wrote down what she said was saying that I'm not the future, I am now. I think that's
Oh
what she
God,
said. And
please,
that
please be
kinda
now.
it
No, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, we keep
Mhm.
talking about our young people like they're the future, they're good, they're coming.
No, they're
They're here.
now.
They're
They're
here.
here,
And
exactly.
we got to
Um,
continue to support them. I mean,
yeah.
and we'll
Patti
get to
LaBelle.
somebody that knows how to support young people in just a
Mhm.
couple of minutes.
Kenan Thompson, and then Queen Latifah
Olivia.
wasn't crazy about what she was wearing. I didn't
Why?
quite get the didn't she had talked about the designer that did her dress for that evening, but I saw pictures of this before it aired, and I was just kind
Mhm.
of like, what is that? Is that like a
It's
design for a
couture. That's what
movie?
it is.
It has to be because
And
I
it's
didn't get it.
beautiful. And
I
she's
didn't get it.
beautiful.
Right. And then Yolanda Adams, along with your girl,
My girl, which
Fantasia,
means
Fantasia,
Fantasia, Fantasia
Fantasia,
Barrino,
and who is
the
this?
Coke bottle that can sing. Woo.
And then Tyson, not Tyson. What's the child's name? From
I can't help you with that. I'm still thinking about Fantasia and
I
the
know you're thinking
bird.
about Fantasia, and
Good
I'm
Lord.
trying
How
to
did they put that on TV? That should have
they
had a special rating.
oh my god. So anyway, they sang in honor of for
Please tell me
Patti
there's a picture of
LaBelle.
Fantasia coming up.
No, there was a picture of Fantasia. I went past it. You were very
No, you
talking
did. I would have
busily
seen
about
it.
somebody else. I'm gonna go back so you can see it, okay? Because I know she's on there.
There's Latifah.
Mhm,
There's Keenan.
mhm.
Keenan took off his
There
glass.
she is.
No. Oh, that one. Oh, that's. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah. Wow. Good grief. Good grief. And that tells you
Anyways,
that she was on a show like American Idol. Because if they had done
mhm.
an African American version of American Idol, there was no question she would have won that year. This.
Well, she opened the show
She
doing
sure did.
one of what is this
She opened a
Patti
lot of
LaBelle's
things.
biggest songs, the Voulez-vous coucher avec moi. And thank you so much,
She did
Brown
Lady
Sugar
Marmalade.
Cafe. Yeah, she did
Marmalade.
Marmalade. Yeah,
Back when
so
Patti LaBelle was with LaBelle with Nona
mhm.
Hendrix. Yes. hmm Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the Grio Awards was at the same time as the Soul Train Awards. The Soul Train Awards did repeat, but unfortunately, I just wasn't drawn to the performances and the winner. A lot of the people that won weren't there, so I was a little sad about that. So yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's just I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sad.
Before we make our big
Mhm,
big transition here,
mhm.
can we give a shout? I saw the picture pop up for just a second. We do
Right.
want to give her love. May she rest in power. Somebody
Mhm,
that changed the music world. I think you saw her just a second ago, and that
mhm.
is Irene Cara.
Yeah.
Irene Cara, my goodness. I mean, when you see her picture, she was so beautiful. And,
Mhm,
I mean, Valda Voice,
mhm.
Irene Cara was famous, but she was also black people famous. She was black famous. She was on that list of black famous, okay? And what I mean by that, before we make the transition to the one and only in
Sports.
just a second,
Mhm,
is
mhm,
this. When I was reading up these kind of like bios on Irene Cara passing, they
mhm,
mentioned a bunch of them mentioned fame, right?
mhm. Okay.
They
Mhm,
mentioned her song in
mhm,
Flashdance, and
mhm.
what a feeling, and then fame, I'm gonna live. But here, unscripted, you and I. What's the first movie you remember Irene Cara in?
Oh, Sparkle.
Sparkle. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep,
That's black
Sparkle.
people famous. Okay.
He's so
So
funny.
so look, everybody else want to talk about them other movies. I'm serious. Everybody want to talk about them other movies. But
And
if you know Irene Cara, you go back to Sparkle with Philip Michael Thomas playing the piano. It
mhm.
just that whole vibe. I mean, that was the movie. That
She
was
was yeah, and she was a
magic.
teenager when she did that film,
Yes.
and on the
Yes.
screen right there, I love Debbie Allen. She tweeted this, "My heart is broken." Hashtag Irene Cara was such a beautiful and a gifted and beautiful genius. The song "What a Feeling" and got her an Oscar, a Grammy, and a Golden Globe in
hmm
'84,
Yeah.
and she co-wrote the song for the film Flashdance, and that's the song that I really remember is "What a Feeling," because I was in I don't know, fifth or sixth grade doing the dance to
hmm
"What a Feeling" or whatever, and it
Yeah.
was I shared my memories about it. So Irene Cara, 63. It didn't that no one released information about how she passed and what caused it, but
Yeah.
we're praying for the family. Thank you
Rest
so
in
much for
power.
all. Yes, thank you so much for all that you contributed to music and movies, Irene.
Giving us something she could feel. I mean,
I
this
don't-
is woo. I mean, Sparkle. That's how you know, right? That's how you know. Everybody knows you for different points in time. They
Mhm.
contact with you, but Irene Cara, Sparkle, and then Fame. I mean, my goodness.
So I know.
Yeah.
So right now it's time to pivot and let's talk and let's bring on Coach. Gosh, there he is.
Let's put this
Coach.
I got to put this last down real quick.
Yeah, I need your head was cutting off. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you.
Where the cane, Coach?
Hey, I ain't got the cane, but I throw them brothers.
I see you.
Represent them brothers. Happy Thanksgiving to my illustrious brothers, the one and only Kappa Alpha Psi. Yo, baby, yo. Man. You know, I got to step to a couple of things before we get to sports, man, because you and Val be so deep, man. I got to check off my list, man. I'm up here like I'm in class again, on the campus with my notebook, walking from Kaufman Hall back to the yard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, first of all,
I love it.
I got to give you the line. I got people by the dozen. I got money by the time. Right?
There we go.
Because I'm the baddest. I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Come on.
Wow. Gotta spell it out.
What's that spell?
Hey, everybody hot? No. You know why? You're cool.
Hey, Val. Then he broke the dance down, and then my man Jerome. Hey, oh, by the way, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Get my change.
Your change. What is happening? Oh my gosh! Here you two go. Oh my.
So for you young folks don't know, you better watch for a ring. Get my change, Mike. Get my change. No.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about. Hey, the other thing is something very near and dear to me. I think I mentioned this early on in one of our podcasts. I told you my sister was Chicago's top model of the year, 82, 83, Longwood High School, south side of the city. I got an opportunity to meet Irene Cara during the time. She, I think, co-wrote or wrote Flash Dance. I think, if I'm right, like 83, 84.
83 is when the movie
so
came out.
My sister got an opportunity to be on Fame with a couple of spots. I got a chance to meet Irene. During that same time, I got a chance to meet Heavy D brother Kenny, so would kind of put my sister on to a couple things. So I was kind of connected in that world for a minute, man, through my sister Jaleesa McPherson, Chicago's own, who ended up being in Mo Better Blues, who ended up being in Do the Right Thing, who ended up being in Scarlet Letter with Demi Moore. So, props go off. And I'm telling you, Irene Cara was a absolute phenomenal individual from an actress point of view, singer perspective. And then she brought her horizon to let people know that I'm not only in this one lane, but I can step outside this lane and direct and do something, which is not always easy. It's kind of like the athlete who thinks he's a coach, right, Mike? And get on sideline. Magic Johnson. Find out he can't coach. There's a whole other ball game.
Jeff Saturday, yeah.
Oh, Jeff Saturday, exactly. So, I take my hats go off, man. Irene Cara, man, rest in peace. God got work for her to do, man, and just a beautiful individual.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Coach. Now, what's been big in sports has been soccer, aka football, aka soccer, aka football.
That depends on where you're located at, Val.
I gotta tell you, I mean, among my students and folks, I nonstop World Cup. I mean, and these are kids, Coach. I didn't think they like sports. I ain't seen any indication of that. But all of a sudden, this tournament that comes out every 4 years, I mean, is amazing. And then to have the U.S. actually have a meaningful part of it this
Correct.
year.
And they
One
get by
today.
Iran today. They get by
Yeah,
Iran. And you think those kids in school with a book in their hand, they got their phone inside the book, like, yeah, you think
absolutely.
that
No,
they're
they
cheering
did.
on you, what you teaching them.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. No, we had a moment where, you know, it's like, okay, we got this free time, you know, in between lunch and after lunch, and they were like, "Can you turn it on?" I'm like, "Turn it on. I don't have any access to that." They're like, "Oh no, I'll show you the code." Coach,
Right.
they were breaking it down. I think we were watching
Right.
it from like, I think we were watching Bolivian TV for a second,
Right.
Tunisian television,
They
French
like, they like,
television. I mean, they were
they,
like,
they,
I know how to
hey,
get it. Like,
right.
okay.
They're like, hey, don't worry about that, Mr. One. I got you. If you want to watch it,
That's what
we
they
can
did.
pause.
They're like, I got you. We throw it
Right.
up.
I
Throw
got
it
you.
up on the screen.
We
Like,
go, yeah, we
Yeah,
can pause class right now. And the
and
funny part about it is, like Val was saying earlier, is you call it soccer/football/soccer. And the one name that's synonymous with football, soccer, no matter what you call it, is what? Adidas. Boom.
okay, all right,
yeah,
Adidas.
I
All
mean,
right,
I
well,
mean, I'd like to. I really was interested in this match today for a
mhm.
number of reasons. There's so much going on in the world. I mean, you know, Coach, we really, you know, sometimes we try to come to sports to get away from politics and get away
Politics.
from all these other things, but
Sure.
sometimes you just can't help it. I
Yeah.
mean, they had I don't know if you saw it earlier in the week, they had Iranian journalists talking to some of the players, African American players on the captain,
Hold on,
actually the
Mike. Hold
captain of
on.
the team, asking
Hold
him
on.
what it means to be black in the
Yeah.
US. Can you feel like you can rep the US because you black? I'm like,
And
wow.
I gotta correct you, because today they make sure only the Americans, quote unquote, call it Iranian. We're Iranians, right? So get it
Yeah,
right, man.
that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. You gotta say,
Right.
yeah. That's the
Oh,
first thing
man.
he told the
Wow.
brother. He's like, "You're not
You're like,
saying
hold
the
on.
name of my country correctly.
You
You
didn't
gotta
even say
fix
my
that."
country right, man. Say
Now,
my country.
now, now I'm gonna go at
I'm like,
you.
man, I'm like, dude, don't step to me like that. You act like we're on 35th and Shields or something,
And
man.
then he's like, now I'm gonna try to call you Uncle Tom or something and say, why you
Right.
playing for the US? It's like,
Exactly.
and
Wow.
thank goodness, the captain of the team had, you know, he had a great response to him, told him, you know, broke it down, talked about his family, talked about growing up here in America, what it means, that it's not perfect, but we
Mhm.
Right.
certainly striving to get there. I mean, obviously we're in a better situation than Iran. We're not like randomly killing women because they got their hair out of a job. So
Correct.
which is making protests all throughout that country to the
Right. They
point
don't have their sunglasses on. They got to have their eyes covered.
the Uranian players
Mhm.
did not want to sing their own national anthem earlier in the week, you know,
That
on the
was
Wow.
world
crazy.
stage.
That
And
was.
And
Yeah.
the funny part about it is that you kind of, you kind of see Qatar, right? And
Oh,
that's what they're showing. But it's kind of like being in the shy outside of the fourth when we got a war zone going on at home in the shy. You can come into Chicago and you think we live in the best city in America, which we do. I'm prejudiced. Chicago, the #1 city in America, period, point blank. But at the end of the day, if I took you out of Michigan Avenue and took you out of the Gold Coast and roll you out to the west side or roll you out to the far south side, you have to think twice about that. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
they were talking about the same thing with Qatar.
Yeah,
And,
right.
that some dude was talking about he was just there today and him and his buddies was like bagged up to take a selfie. And the dude pulled an M16 and told him, I'm going to need to get that camera or put the camera up.
Right. I
Like,
mean, this is
That's
not. I
very
mean,
scary.
the
Very
FIFA
scary.
is a very questionable organization that
yeah,
holds one of the most popular events in the world every 4 years. But as far as an organization, they are corrupt. They take bribes. The Qatar had enough money to get this tournament there.
so
These stadiums that we are watching these games in, where we're cheering the U.S. on, 10 years ago they didn't exist.
man, they
It's
would go back
days
to what Val.
later that these stadiums exist.
It goes back to what Val said last week. When she was saying that these people were undercutting millions and millions of dollars to get these deals done. There were
Mhm.
millions of dollars, man. I mean, they this wasn't legitimate business. This was behind the scene. It was basically a
Right.
couple of Arabs well, you got the money, man. We're gonna run a couple of ponies. You know, these cats got thoroughbreds that they bring into the United States to run in the Kentucky Derby. They got these guys. These guys got one of the sheiks was talking about. He's got an airplane that he rides 4 horses to the United States strictly. Nobody else on that plane but 4 horses. Come on, man.
So I mean, the fact that the U.S. has been able to do as well as they have, certainly they did not make it the last time. The star of the team, Christian Pulisic, he got injured, but he is already tweeted out from his hotel
hospital bed.
That he's
bring
ready.
that back
He's gonna be good to go for Saturday against the Netherlands.
Yeah,
he got hit in the family too, man. Ooh, I think he hurt his. I think he hurt his. I think he hurt his second and third generation.
They called it a rib injury. My ribs don't go there, but you know,
I'm gonna say he kind of hurt his Orange Juice Jones, man. I'm just a squirrel looking for a nut.
No, I mean,
you see him right there in the picture. He's pulling up saying, "I'm so proud of my guys." He says he's going to be ready for Saturday.
He sacrificed himself for that victory. I mean, he put it on the line for that victory.
What was it, 0? So was that 0-1?
Yeah, he was the first scorer.
But that victory is the 3 points, and that 3 points put the U.S. into the knockout stage.
Correct.
Okay, right. So they continue on, and Iran unfortunately goes home.
No, not unfortunately. Fortunately.
Well, wow. I mean, you know, I hope they go home safely. I hope they are received well, because I mean, Coach, do you remember previous World Cup when the Iraqi team was defeated and they went home and then they went missing?
Correct. And the funny part about it, again, just go back to this past Olympic, right? In your Winter Olympics, and you had a couple of Russian Olympians that weren't defected, you know, and then remember the young girl who escaped and said that the government beat her and did all this, and then they found out she said they didn't. Come on, man, you know, this is crazy stuff, man. This is how, you know, you got Russian hockey players out here in the United States that went and defected because of Brittany Griner. Because of Brittany got held up, they're like, I'm not even going back to Russia. I can now all that. Yeah, I'm done.
Right. So making a smooth transition to your sport, the sport of, you know, of exceptional athletes, NCAA basketball. Deja vu. Who's number 1? Houston, the Cougars.
I told you he was gonna be in the top 3, baby.
I mean, if y'all listening, Coach told us a couple of weeks ago that was going to happen, and here it is.
Watch out for Houston this year because they are playing in a good situation. You know what's so funny about them, Mike, is I was watching them this past weekend, and you know, you got the Big Six, as I call it, right? The Big Six. And the Big Six flopped. So, of course, Carolina started out. They got knocked off. One of my son's teammate, Brandon Miller, put on a freaking show for University of Alabama. Probably put himself to the NBA draft, mock draft, top 5. Right now, Alabama showed well. They knocked off Michigan State and they knocked off Carolina for the weekend. And then, of all places, for the biggest tournament for the holidays, Mike, who would ever thought UConn boys and girls take home the Nike trophy? No one would have thought about it. No,
amazing.
That was amazing. Maybe UConn girls, but UConn boys, and they went undefeated. They 7-0 and put themselves into contention, and then it just helped Houston move up the ladder. Now, the only thing about that I would say is Houston being a mid-major, right? Because they're not part of the Power 5 conference.
Okay.
And they kind of the 2 teams that are non-Power 5 is going to be obviously Gonzaga and Houston, right?
Right.
That we're going to look at. And you got to kind of weigh the things out. Houston plays like a Power 5 team. They play like that 83 Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon. They play above the rim and run. I love them, everything that they do, and they play very well. What you got to look out for now is that if they don't really face, I think they got to play Baylor just because it's Texas.
Sure.
I think they got Gonzaga, and I think they got Carolina this year. But depending on how they come up with those 3 games this year, you may see Houston lose no more than 1, maybe 2 games. Because
Okay.
I don't think they'll lose in the conference at all, Mike. I think they'll go undefeated in the conference.
Oh.
Okay. So here's a question I have for you, because I know you were high on Houston going in, and anybody listening to us, been watching us last couple of weeks, you know that coach was telling you about Houston Cougars and predicted this. What about Carolina? How do you go from 1 to 17?
Again, when you are slightly overrated, you got the kids that came back. Obviously, I like Carolina when they came in the season. I said Houston was probably a top 4 team. They probably will get back. But what happened on that, Mike, man, is you got this is the new era of NIL, right?
Okay.
So kids don't have to feel the need to jump into the league, right? So
yeah, right.
I'm okay. I know I'm probably not going to be an NBA draft pick, so why not stay in school and suck it up? Now instead of me leaving trying to go overseas and play, I can now go ahead and get my degree and probably make as much money as I could go overseas and play. And I'm an asset to my team. So now you're starting to see teams like Houston and Calvin Sampson got these 4 seniors, 4 juniors. Where you see that at? 8 kids on the team, the upperclassmen? You don't see that no more. Why?
Right. I mean, that's when you saw, a couple of years ago, I think you saw that with Loyola, the Loyola team.
And Butler. Right. Remember, Butler played against Duke. They were loaded senior heavy, and they won that national championship game. So now the opportunity for college basketball is slowly coming back to norm, because now you got these kids that are given options. They now can go to school and feel comfortable about graduating, getting a degree, and making money.
Coach, speaking of a lot of money, speaking of a boatload of money, Coach.
Oh boy.
8 years, $74 million.
Oh boy. So I
go to Val DeVoice's Home Away from Home.
I was just about to say this. Coach, I visited Omaha, Nebraska, and my aunts and uncle and a lot of my cousins are over there. So what is big over in Omaha is the Nebraska teams. So this young man, who Michael alluded to, 8 years, they brought him on, Matt. How much money did they bring him on for, Matt? The coach?
8 years, $74 million. $66 million of that guaranteed. And the cold part about it is that got him out from under the nearly $40 million or so that was still owed to him by the Carolina Panthers, whom he left decimated and just in shambles. So now he gets to do the same thing to your Nebraska Cornhuskers. Val DeVoice, I feel bad for all your relatives there. They're going to be running through it. It's going to be ugly for a year.
And Val, the crazy part about it is I wish some of those guys listen to me again. Now I got to shout out I got to shout out my piece that I'm working on. That's why these kids and parents need to stay in tune with none other than Interludes Talk on Tuesday. Hit the subscribe button. Sit up, talk to Coach Tony, because my new company, Prospects on the Rise, the Athletes NIL Network, talk about this. And I talk about this. I just had this exact conversation with a parent today. Do not sign to a university because of the coach. I know you love the coach, and unfortunately, the lay of the land has changed. You sign to the university for the following reasons. 1, can that university provide to me what I need to be a solid student athlete? 2, does that university have what I want to major in without me having to go to another university to get that? 3, what are they going to do when school gets out in the wintertime, fall breaks, Christmas breaks? How am I going to be provided? 4, what is there with the NIL opportunity? Because now there's money for me to be made. How are the coaching staff going to help me? And the number 5 thing is, what's going to happen in case the coach gets a new job? What happens to my scholarship? So because coaches nowadays are not there, Mike, like they were when I was playing back in the day.
No,
These guys, if they don't put up the numbers, do you know why coaches are leaving so quick, Mike? Because back in the day, the school was not going to buy you out, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now they don't care because they got boosters and this NIL and all this money's coming up. You know, they buying these cats out for the extra part of their contract. They get him out of this contract, still owe him $40 million. I wish somebody would owe me $40 million. I can sit home.
I mean, in the same point with Nebraska, they did the same. That's what they did to Scott Frost, and I mean, they couldn't wait to get Scott Frost in there. And the great legendary Scott Frost, great player for Nebraska Cornhuskers. But turned out
was Matt
Nebraska
a former?
was going to do a little bit more in the Big Ten than they did when we got Nebraska from the Pac-12. No one imagined that Nebraska would consistently be on the bottom of the conference, right? When we got Nebraska, we thought for sure you're looking at a three-headed monster in Ohio State, Michigan, and Nebraska when it came to football. Basketball, a whole different story. But football, those three. Nebraska came in, they had maybe 1 or 2 good years, but the Iowa Hawkeyes took that over.
I have a question. Was Matt a former Cornhusker?
No. He got his claim to fame is his singular 1 year with Baylor. So he had 3 years of Baylor, but only one of them got to an 11-1 record. He got to a ball game. They I don't believe they actually won that game.
I think they lost it.
But he had an 11-1 year, and as a coach, he was hot, and Carolina hired him. They had him for 3 years, 3 god-awful years.
He did absolutely nothing at the next level. Because again, when we go, we just said at the top of the hour, when you go to that next level, that doesn't mean that you can coach at that next level.
So Coach, here's my question coming off of this, because he gave a 4-word answer saying that yes, he was contacted. What's that mean for Coach Prime? If Matt Rule, with his no talent, terrible coaching, gets 8 years, $74 million, what does Colorado have ready for Coach Prime? Because they certainly offered him a deal, and he certainly acknowledged that he did receive an offer.
So he got that, and I talked again, we had my cousin Derek, who's the team doctor. That's why I was at Val for the holidays with my baby girl. Shout out to my baby girl, Miss Skylar. Skylar Boogie was in my pocket this weekend and with the family, and they were loving on her. And so hanging out with my cousin Derek, Dr. Derek Burgess, the Mississippi Jackson State University. And he told me that Colorado was the leading candidate, Mike. He also got other offers. But based on what my cousin said, if it holds true, he said Prime Time said he likes to wear shorts in the springtime and summer. He ain't going no cold weather. So now I don't know if that means thank you for the offer. We're going to look elsewhere or what. And
it's only cold there a couple of months. I mean, it's only cold there, from like early November into the bowl.
I'm like Val, no. I'm like Val, no.
It gets nice weather.
No. It's Colorado.
It's Colorado. It's near the mountains.
Correct.
No, hold on.
It's high elevation. It's
Boulder is a beautiful city. It's a great.
Yeah, but Boulder's in that valley. Boulder's in that valley. They're gonna get that snow. I'm like Val. You may get 60 days of good weather, maybe.
No, you get decent weather in Colorado. I don't know if anybody can back me up on that, but I visited Denver, Colorado Springs, Colorado. You get decent weather there. They have a summer. They do have summer there. Now, when it snows, I-70 closes and you get like locked in. That's a disadvantage, of course. Other than that, I mean, okay, so the Auburn job's gone. This Nebraska job went to this goof. So
the Auburn's job is not off the table yet because they still got Cadillac. They made Cadillac interim coach. So they gave him the interim coach. Of course, he got blown out by Alabama.
I thought there was an offer. There hasn't been an offer made for Alabama.
Yeah, there's an offer on the Auburn situation, but it hadn't been made yet. So the Auburn situation is still out there. I personally, this is just me. I personally think that Prime is going to come back to Jackson State one more. Yeah, well, let me back that up. He plays. Jackson State plays Southern. If you guys don't know, tune in this Saturday on ESPN3. The game will be on championship game. And oh, by the way, Val and Mike, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll send it to you. There was a absolutely beautiful 6 a.m. meeting this morning with none other than Kevin Plank, the CEO of Under Armour, showed up at Jackson State to introduce the brand new Under Armour shoe that's a convertible slide and workout shoe to the Jackson State team, and talk about how Primetime met him back in 02-03 when he was getting everything pulled together. I mean, not 02-03, but 92-93 when he was getting Under Armour together. And Primetime called him and said, I need some shirts. And Kevin said, hey, unfortunately, I'm not Adidas and I'm not Nike, so this is going to have to cost you. And Primetime said, how much? He said, I'll send you the check. And he's like, yeah, I got it. All these big-time athletes said that. They never sent me anything. He comes to the office the next day. Secretary knocks on the door, and Deion overnighted a $350 check for 20 shirts, and they've been tight ever since. And he said, again, you having to pay up front. And now 20 years later, he's sponsoring Jackson State.
Okay.
So that's what's called pay it forward, man. And I don't think that, in my personal opinion, I think Deion's going to give it one more year. If not, I really think he's looking for a warm, hot state to go to, not cold weather.
You heard it first here. Coach has been right about just about everything from Houston coming up to that #1 spot, to the idea that Coach Prime's gonna stay with the SWAC, stay with Jackson State for another year. That these deals just not good enough, and I love that. I mean, make him an offer he can't refuse.
Don't make an offer he can't refuse. Right? Exactly. And I'm gonna say one more thing to you and Val that I should have said in the beginning. I don't know what you talking about, baby, but I did all my Cyber Monday shopping, and I got all my deals. You iPhone user, switch over to Android, and you gonna be good. Cause I got everything, baby. I got the discount. I got the Home Depot hookup. I got the Adidas hookup. I got the Sony, JBL. Hey, Val. Hey, Cyber Monday was all good, baby.
Yeah, well, I didn't shop at all, but we'll be back with you next week for all of the breakdown.
All right.
And I'll be keeping my eyes out for these coaches getting all this money and see if they'll actually do something with the team. We'll figure it out. Coach,
Val, you need to reach out to some of your contacts, Val. I think you need to reach out to some of your contacts, Val. We need some money up in here.
Hey, you are so true with that. And what's your word, Coach?
Hey, I love you guys. Thanks for coming out for a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving weekend. But you know my words, baby. And I'm out.
He's out. Thank you so much, Coach. There he goes. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I have to say this.
Yes.
I'm going to be rooting for the Big Red situation, but I don't. I want Deion to stay where he is. I want him to stay there.
I do too.
In Tennessee State. I don't want him to go anywhere. What are you going to be talking about tomorrow?
Oh, what you want me to talk about? I got lots of ideas. All right. What we want?
I would like for you to talk about. This might be something you may not want to talk about, and you can just let me know right now. But one of our favorite what am I trying to say? Talk show hosts had a Mr. Smith on to promote his new movie, but he did an apology. I think it was on Trevor Noah's show. And I was thinking, and they were playing clips and stuff from that. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah. We'll go into it. All right.
Trevor Noah and Will Smith, because he's in the process of promoting his new film called Emancipation. And he's on, I want to call it the apology tour. And I heard a clip where he's talking and he says his nephew sat in his lap and said, "Why'd you hit that man, Uncle Will?" And, So
Wow.
hashtag Wamble Wednesdays. You talk about wellness and the wellness of forgiveness.
Wow, man. Goodness. That is, talk about changing the subject
I
from,
know.
the entanglement that Jada was in getting
Oh, here
resolved.
we
I
go.
guess it's
Here we
resolved.
go.
Turns out that Jada's not his type because she's
Oh,
female. Anyway.
oh my gosh. You know what? So anyway, we're gonna keep it moving, and thank you guys for joining us on today. Uh, I'll still say this. Today is please go ahead and sign up for Find Your Voice, a podcasting course for beginners. It course launches soon. More information regarding that on our website, linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. And today is Giving Tuesday. So this is a close friend of mine, Carla Braithwaite. We went ahead and had her on last week's audio podcast. You guys can scan the Facebook,
Right there.
the QR code,
Right
and
there.
she's got one more full day in the challenge, and I think she's trying to raise $2,000.
It's Giving Tuesday. If you can give,
Giving, you can give.
some of y'all gave to some places like the Home Depot.
You gave to Home Depot. You gave to Best Buy. You gave to Apple. Now give to the Epilepsy Foundation of America.
Right,
and if you want to know more about it, that podcast is available called Epilepsy Awareness. But go ahead and scan that QR code if you want to give to the Epilepsy Foundation of America. She's got one more day to do walking, and I think tomorrow's going to be really cold. She might do it indoors. I'm not sure, but I've been keeping up with her.
Right.
Let's go, Miss Carla.
Yes.
Interludes, our talk on Tuesdays, is streaming every Tuesday on our YouTube channel, our Facebook private group fan base, on LinkedIn under Pure Lighthouse Media. Now we're available on Pod TV, Roku channel. If you'd like to also be a sponsor and be on our platform, book time with us at linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. Woohoo! I think I got it all in. Did I get it all in? And we're celebrating 100 episodes.
Yeah, we well past 100. Now we on the 200 more. That's right.
So that is us. So what's your name, Michael?
My name is not Val the Voice Johnson, but yours is, and this has been Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday with Val the Voice Johnson and Coach Tony.
Guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.